Hey everyone, today we are going to do something a little bit different from our regular content. We know that NaNoWriMo just ended, so you may be looking to edit your story, especially if you are taking part in our contest for Nano winners who use Blaze. Make sure you check out our contest. There's a link down in the description. You can win up to $3,000 to help publish your NaNoWriMo project. Submissions are due December 15th, and we know that is a tight deadline, but we have something to help. ProWritingAid is editing software that helps you find and fix mistakes in your manuscript. I know you have a spell and grammar checker, but this goes way past that. Also, the folks at ProWritingAid are good friends of Campfire Technology, and our entire team uses their software every single day. Whether you took part in Nano or not, editing is a crucial part of the writing process. If you're anything like me though, editing can be hard. It's a long and arduous process of just going line by line, looking for errors until you feel like your head's going to explode. It takes forever and it's not fun. You could hire an editor, but that's not cheap. Depending on the length of your book, editors can cost you thousands of dollars. I don't know about you, but I don't have the scratch to cover editing costs, so that means we have to rely on ourselves a lot of the time. So how do we make the process easier without breaking the bank? That's where ProWritingAid comes in. It does a lot of the things that a professional editor would do for less time and money. Where an editor can take weeks, you can see a pro writing report instantaneously, albeit you still have to make the edits. Most stories go through at least two types of edits: developmental edits and copy edits. During developmental edits, your focus is the big picture problems in your story, like plot, pacing, and characterization. During copy edits, your focus is the language you use in your sentences. Both types of edits are important so that your story isn't just engaging, but also clear and easy to read. While developmental editing is difficult to do solo, it's quite possible to complete copy edits yourself, and it's even easier with ProWritingAid. When completing a line edit, your number one priority is clarity, because clarity is what makes great ideas shine. You can have the best story concept in the world, but if your sentences are convoluted, your readers won't know it. By prioritizing clarity, you make sure that your readers can actually enjoy the plot, setting, and characters you've spent so much time developing. Clarity starts at the sentence level. If your sentences aren't clear, your paragraphs won't be clear. If your paragraphs aren't clear, then your chapters won't be clear. And if your chapters aren't clear, then, well, your story won't be clear either. During line editing, you'll examine your word choice and sentence structure with a microscope to ensure that your language is as clear as possible. This is where we'll do a lot of the nitty-gritty editing, like grammar. These days, most word processors can catch a good chunk of grammar errors, but the editing process involves diving into each sentence and breaking it down into its fundamental parts. Something a lot of word processors can't do, other than ProWritingAid. While there are many sentence level improvements you can do on your own, the right editing technology can help your line editing go more smoothly, as well as catch errors that you wouldn't notice on your own. Let's take a look about how 5 different pro writing reports can make your writing clearer. Many writers, especially new writers, can construct sentences that are grammatically correct but are clunky or difficult to read. That's where the style report comes in. This comprehensive report looks specifically at some areas that you can improve on to make your writing more engaging and readable for the audience. Let's look at some examples. Eliminating hidden verbs. Hidden verbs are verbs that have turned into a verb-noun combo. For example, saying, "He will make an announcement," instead of "he will announce." While the phrase "make an announcement" is technically correct, it's overly formal and wordy. The style report can help you find these hidden verbs and change them. Next, reducing passive voice. Passive voice isn't grammatically incorrect, but it can create a clunky or confusing experience for your readers. When you use passive voice, you hide your subjects by leading with an object-first sentence construction. The style report will help you rewrite instances of passive voice to give the power back to your subjects. Reducing adverb usage. As Stephen King said, "The road to hell is paved with adverbs." While not incorrect, adverbs are often used to compensate for weak verbs or adjectives. Saying "she was very pretty" is less powerful than saying "she was gorgeous." The style report highlights places where you can use stronger and more vivid language. And finally, showing, not telling. Amateur writers often tell emotions rather than showing them. While there may be points in your story where it makes more sense to tell rather than show, showing helps you give a vivid picture in your reader's mind that will engross them in your writing. These suggestions just scratch the surface of what Pro Writing Aid Style Report covers. Each suggestion is specifically tailored to increase readability and clarity. Now for the next style of report, I'm going to throw it over to Haley from Pro Writing Aid.
Hi everybody, Haley here from Pro Writing Aid. I am so excited to be talking to you today about sticky sentences. So as you've wrapped up NaNoWriMo, as you finished your manuscript, and as you're taking this beautiful manuscript that you've just birthed and moving on into the editing phase, one of the things that we recommend you focusing on here at Pro Writing Aid is sticky sentences. Now, what are sticky sentences? We think of sentences as having glue words and working words. Working words are the words that contain a sentence's most essential information. So think about your subject of your sentence, your object, your main verb. Glue words, on the other hand, are what make the essential pieces of the sentence stick together. Think about your prepositions, your conjunctions, that type of thing. They help your sentence make sense and get your meaning across, but you can swap out glue words, change them around, replace them with other words, and the meaning wouldn't necessarily change. Here's a sentence that I've written. Dave walked over into the backyard of the school in order to see if there was a new bicycle he could use in his class. What do you think are the working words in this sentence? Dave walked, backyard, school, new, bicycle, use, class. These are the words that contain the sentence's most essential information. I can't really change them because if I changed them, it would change the meaning of the sentence. Glue words are the words that make the essential pieces of the sentence stick together. They make it make sense, but I can swap them in and out. So for instance, with this sentence, I could say, Dave walked to the backyard of the school. And that's not really going to change the meaning of the sentence if I swap to for over into. Now, why is this so important in editing? As you can see, this sentence is pretty wordy. It's got a lot of words in there and it has a high amount of glue words. So you can see below that the glue percentage of this sentence is actually 60%. That means that the sentence has 60% glue words and 40% working words. Now at Pro Writing Aid, we see that a high glue index like this, a high glue percentage, is typically an indication that your sentence is a little overly wordy and you can rewrite it or change it to be more concise. When you run the sticky sentences check, our software goes in and identifies sticky sentences for you. So you'll see two scores over here, or two categories over here rather. First, your sticky sentences, which are sentences that have higher than 60% glue words. Okay, so you can see this one right here has 66.7% glue words. You'll also see when we highlight over that sentence what the glue words are. That is one of the main edits. It's something that I'm super guilty of. And when I'm finishing NaNoWriMo or when I'm working on anything, whether it's my novel or a blog post or an email, I'm always looking at sticky sentences to think about how I can make my sentences more clear, cut out some of that glue, and get to the point a little bit faster. So I hope that was helpful. Please let us know if you have any questions, and we'd love to hear what you think when you try out the sticky sentences report. All right, back over to you, Levi.
Most readers want reading to be easy, not hard. Audiences prefer to engage with materials that are well below their actual reading ability. Because of this fact, experts recommend aiming for a 7th grade reading score for mass market fiction. Your story's readability score refers to how difficult it is to read. It's important to know that your document's readability score is so that you can see whether or not your audience will understand your work. There are many metrics to measure readability. Pro Writing Aid's readability report gives you an overall measure of your different scores, as well as a paragraph by paragraph breakdown and estimated reading time. The readability score you target will depend on your audience. As we just mentioned, most adults prefer to read mass market fiction at about a 7th grade reading level. If you write something for a niche audience, like an academic audience for instance, your target reading level might be higher. The important thing to remember is to pick an appropriate score for your ideal readers. When you use the readability report, you can make sure that your writing is at the correct reading level. You can also narrow in on specific paragraphs that might be overly difficult. A quick reminder, making your document easier to read isn't dumbing it down. Your writing can be complex, vivid, and engaging, and still be accessible. Many words and phrases in the English language actually weaken your writing, especially when they're overused. Hesitant words like just or maybe, for instance, make you sound unconvincing or unsure. It's fine to use some of these words in your writing, but if you use them too much, they'll undermine your ideas. The Overused Words report flags occurrences of problematic words and phrases so that you can eliminate them if you need to. Remember, you don't need to cut or replace all overused words. Rather, you can use this report to re-examine specific instances to make sure they're your best option. Here are the types of words and phrases that Overused Words will flag. Wishy-washy words like could, maybe, or should. Non-specific words like interesting. Intensifiers like really, so, or very. Never use very. Very is very dead. The Diction report helps you fix complicated writing by analyzing word choice and sentence structure to find instances of overly complicated phrases or vague and abstract words. Both of these edits can make your writing more powerful. By prioritizing simple sentence constructions, you prioritize ideas over fancy wording. Similarly, by choosing vivid words, you create a richer experience for your readers. Here are some of the ways the Diction report can improve your writing. Let's look at an example of a complex phrase. Did you say due to the fact when you could have just said because? What about vague words? Have you described your protagonist as tall? Well, tall means different things to different people. Line editing is an important part of your writing process. During a line edit, you'll make significant changes to your word choice and sentence construction that will ultimately ensure your writing is clear and engaging for your readers. Do you need something like Pro Writing Aid to line edit? No, you could do it if you wanted to, but Pro Writing Aid will help you save a ton of time so you can focus on writing and world building. Like I said before, everyone here at Campfire Technology uses Pro Writing Aid and we love it. It is one of the main editing forces for all of the videos on this channel. Make sure you check out our affiliate link down below, and I'll see you next time with our regular content. Also, don't forget to check out Campfire Blaze and our contest. There are links down in the description. Bye.